Just a little bit about Marine Harvest first. We have about 11,700 employees throughout the world, 24 countries. We are the biggest producer of Atlantic salmon in the world. We produce around 6.2 million meals every day. And we're producing around 425,000 tons estimated this year. I think this is a valid question. Can we actually produce food in the ocean? When you look at the numbers, you see that we are an ocean planet. But yet, we only eat 2% out of the ocean, only 2% that out of the world supply comes from the ocean. Marine Harvest want to change that. So we have chosen leading the blue revolution as our vision. We do that because somebody has to step up and take the leadership if we actually want to produce more food in the ocean, and that's what we want to do. We are working in a sector that has several limitations at the moment. The ongoing discussion within my sector is sea lice, escapees, EPA and DHA in the fish feed, and also access to new areas. All of those need to be solved if the salmon industry is going to continue to grow further on. But at the moment, when we're speaking about aquaculture, the salmon industry is the most technologically advanced industry, meaning that even though we don't produce any more salmon in the world, you can still use the technology that we have to produce more species across the globe because of its technology. And more, we started out with the whole fish. I don't know if you used to go to the fish counters earlier, but you just had the whole fish. You had to fillet it yourself. It took some time, and then we realized that, well, maybe we should make this a little bit easier for people, so we started making fillets. And then we started developing more brands. And still, if you look at the seafood sector, we still have a lot to learn from the agriculture sector, but we're moving along. And I think if we want to continue to grow the seafood sector, we need to build more brands. We need to make it more conveniently for people to eat healthy, and people should definitely eat more seafood. So, impact on coastal communities. Well, we have high competence workplaces in rural areas. You have the global megatrends, moving high educated people into the cities. Aquaculture is reversing that effect. In some of the communities we operated, before we came into them, they were abandoned. Aquaculture came back in, and now they're blossoming. It's easy for people to find something to do, and many of the places we're present, we're the biggest employer. And we can't just centralize, because we need to be where the resources are. So in natural, we have a decentralized structure, meaning that we make an effort in all those rural communities around Europe and around the world where we can produce salmon. What we see is that every worker we have in the seafood sector generates at least one more in another sector. So it's not just our jobs, it's also the jobs in adjoining sectors, which is key, I think, if you want to make rural communities actually survive. And this is, of course, a renewable source. So if we do this correctly, we have endless opportunities out there for those rural maritime communities. And for me, this is part of the solution to feeding a growing world population with healthy food. We used to say that around 1 billion people is obese, and around 780 million people is starving. And both of those groups should actually eat more seafood because of its containing of essential fatty acids. So we have an opportunity, and I think Europe's probably the one who's come the furthest in this, being Scotland and Norway, and also Ireland and Iceland, being the leaders and frontrunners in aquaculture. And there is a position for Europe to take in promoting seafood and aquaculture more in a global economy. And this is one of the few goods out there that's actually a global commodity and traded worldwide very quickly. So for us, it's more about being able to and actually getting out there with the key message that this can be a growing, thriving industry with the industry doing what it should and also the regulators doing what is wise to do. Thank you.